Some stories begin in life's darkest moments, but they do not end there. They remind us that courage can appear when everything seems lost, kindness can arrive from unexpected places, and even the smallest trace of hope can change a life forever. Julianne Koepke's experience remains one of the most extraordinary survival stories ever recorded in the Amazon rainforest. A nearly impossible stroke of fortune, her determination to survive, and basic rainforest knowledge learned from her father all played a part in what happened next. Without even one of those advantages, the young German-Peruvian teenager's story could have ended very differently. In today's video, we are sharing 3 true stories about people who faced circumstances they were never expected to survive. Each was isolated, surrounded by danger, and forced to continue when rescue appeared impossible, but one decision would ultimately separate survival from tragedy. Before we continue, if you are a fan of hopeful and uplifting true tales about sacrifice, courage, resilience, and people willing to go the extra mile, all delivered through a powerful story-driven format, then you have come to the right place. Please give the like button a survival kit. It is looking a little unprepared for what is coming. Then follow and subscribe to Echoes of Hope and turn on all notifications so you do not miss our new weekly true stories about survival, compassion, resilience, second chances, and the extraordinary strength of the human spirit. Now, let's return to Julianne's story, because surviving a fall from the sky was only the beginning of what she would have to endure. Story 1. The Girl Who Fell from the Sky. 17-year-old Julianne Koepke was flying over Peru with her mother in December 1971. When their aircraft broke apart during a violent thunderstorm. Still strapped to a row of seats, Julianne fell approximately 3 kilometers into the Amazon rainforest and woke up alive. But surviving the fall was only the beginning. She had injuries, only one shoe, no meaningful supplies, and no way to know where civilization was. Because her zoologist parents had raised her around the rainforest, she remembered one critical lesson. Moving water eventually leads toward larger rivers and human settlements. Julianne followed streams through the jungle while insects attacked her wounds, and exhaustion weakened her. After approximately 11 days, she encountered people who helped bring her back to civilization. She was the flight's sole survivor. She did not survive because she felt fearless. She survived because, even while terrified and injured, she continued making the next reasonable decision. Hope did not show Julianne the entire path out of the jungle. It only showed her enough to take one more step. Julianne had to save herself. But our next story required thousands of strangers to believe that 13 people were still alive underground. Story 2. 13 Lives Beneath the Mountain. On June 23, 2018, 12 members of Thailand's Wild Boars youth soccer team and their coach entered the Tam Luang cave complex. Heavy rain flooded the passages behind them, trapping the group deep inside the mountain. Families waited outside as local responders, military personnel, engineers, medical teams, and expert cave divers arrived from around the world. For 9 nights, nobody knew whether the boys were alive. On July 2nd, British divers finally reached a muddy ledge and found all 13 together. Finding them, however, did not solve the problem. The route out included flooded tunnels, strong currents, and narrow passages requiring specialised diving skills. During preparations, retired Thai diver Saman Gunan died inside the cave. The danger was real, but the operation continued. Beginning July 8th, rescuers extracted the boys in stages. On July 10th, the final boys, their coach, and the personnel who had remained with them emerged safely. This was not one hero saving the day. It was thousands of people combining small pieces of expertise until the impossible became achievable. Sometimes hope is personal courage. Other times it is an entire world refusing to leave 13 strangers behind. But what happens when the search has already been cancelled? And the only people who can bring rescue are the people waiting to be rescued. Story 3. 72 Days in the Andes. On October 13th, 1972, Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 crashed high in the Andes while carrying 45 people, including members of a rugby team and their friends and families. The survivors faced freezing temperatures, serious injuries, and almost no food. On the 11th day, they heard through a radio that the official search had been called off. An avalanche later struck the wreckage, killing more members of the group. To remain alive, the survivors eventually made agonising decisions about using the bodies of those who had died for nourishment. After weeks of waiting, Nando Parrado and Roberto Canessa left the wreckage to search for help. Without proper climbing equipment or a reliable map, they crossed the mountains until they encountered another person and communicated that survivors remained behind. 16 people were ultimately rescued after 72 days in the Andes. The most important moment was not when a helicopter appeared. It was when the survivors learned the search had ended and decided that the end of the search would not become the end of their story. Hope is not always the belief that someone is coming. Sometimes it is the decision to begin walking before you know where the path will lead. Which of these stories changed the way you see hope? Tell us below. If you have ever survived something that once felt impossible, subscribe to Echoes of Hope, because your story may become someone else's reason to continue.